Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakachaja Astuta Tarastada Srimad, His Divine Grace, Advaitaram Vrindi Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Yani Chalila Pravista Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajakachaja Astuta Tarastada Srimad, His Divine Grace, Shilabhati Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Ki Jai. Shri Namachaya Brahmachaya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Rimsikeo Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasari Gauravata Vinde Ki Jai. Jai Shri Radha Damodara Gopa Gopina Shama Kun Radha Kun Jigodana Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai. Shri Gita Nagari Dham Ki Jai. Glories to the beautiful Lordship Shri Shri Radha Damodara Lalita Vishaka Ki Jai. Glories to the beautiful Lordship Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Ki Jai. Glories to the beautiful Lordship Shri Shri Gonita Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Samavida Bhaktavinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gora Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Shubhaya Krishna Pista Bhutarishan Matita. Thank you very much yesterday for again inviting me to try to do this service. So I first asked for the blessings of the assembled devotees so that I can say something that will be beneficial to everybody, including myself. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today's reading is taken from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 18, Text number 12. Yashyate Bhakti Bhagavate Akinchana Saivai Gunais Tatra Samasati Suraha Arav Abhakshashya Kuto Mahatguna Manurata Nasati Davato Bahir Yasyati Bhakti Bhagavati Akinchana Savaguna Statra Samasati Suraha Arav Abhaktashya Kuto Mahaguna Manoratina Sati Davato Bahi. Word-to-word translation. Yasya, of whom Asti there is. Bhakti, devotional service. Bhagavati, to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Akinchana, without any motive. Savai, with all. Gunai, good qualities. Tatra, there, in that person. Samasate, reside. Suraha, all the demigods. Haro, unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Abhaktasya, of a person who is not devoted. Kutaha, where? Mahagunaha, good. Good qualities. Manorati, na, by mental speculation. Asati, in the temporally material world. Davataha, who is running. Bahi, outside. Translation and purport by Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. All the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of God, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities. Even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives, he must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's eternal energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? Purport. As explained in the next verse, Krishna is the original source of all living entities. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita 15:7, wherein Krishna says, Mamaiva Mamaivam so jivaloke jiva bhuta sanatana manas shastani yani pakritra stani kashati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which include the mind. All living entities are part and parcel of Krishna, and therefore, when they revive their original Krishna consciousness, they possess all the good qualities of Krishna in a small quantity. When one engages himself in the 9 processes of devotional service, Shravanam, Ketanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasivanam, Achanam, Vandanam, Dashyam, Sakyam, Atma, Nivedanam, one's heart becomes purified and he immediately understands his relationship with Krishna. He then revives his original quality of Krishna consciousness. In the Adi Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 8, there is a description of some of the qualities of devotees. For example, Sri Pandit Haridas is described as being very well behaved, tolerant, peaceful, magnanimous, and grave. In addition, he spoke very sweetly. His endeavors were very pleasing. He was always patient. He respected everyone. He always worked for everyone's benefit. His mind was free of duplicity, and he was completely devoid of all malicious activities. These are all originally qualities of Krishna, and when one becomes a devotee, they automatically become manifest. Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, says that all good qualities become manifest in the body of a Vaishnava, and that only by the presence of these good qualities can one distinguish a Vaishnava from a non-Vaishnava. Krishnadas Kaviraj lists the following 26 good qualities. Krishnadas Kaviraj lists the following 26 good qualities of a Vaishnava. 1. He is very kind to everyone. 2. He does not make anyone his enemy. 3. He is truthful. 4. He is equal to everyone. 5. No one can find any fault in him. 6. He is magnanimous. 7. He is mild. 8. He is always clean. 9. He is without possessions. 10. He works for everyone's benefit. 11. He is very peaceful. 12. He is always surrendered to Krishna. 13. He has no material desires. 14. He is very meek. 15. He is steady. 16. He controls his senses. 17. He does not eat more than required. 18. He is not influenced by the Lord's illusory energy. 19. He offers respect to everyone. 20. He does not desire any respect for himself. 21. He is very grave. 22, he is merciful. 23, he is friendly. 24, he is poetic. 25, he is expert. And 26, he is silent. Om Gyana Timiranda Shia Gyana Jana Salakaya Taktu Wisdom Yana Asmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Mano Wisdom Stapita Minabu Talishwan Upakadamaya Dadati Swapadati. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandi Jagapati. Gopisha Gopika Kantarada Kantano Mostupe. Banjakapa Tarubias Chakri Pasindubia Eva Chapatita Nampavanabio Vashna Vibio Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasari Gauramatvinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Shitat Manishi Gora Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Namini. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutali Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Goravani Pritarini Neva Shisha Srinyavari Pasha Karisa. Hare Krishna. So thank you very much again for giving me this opportunity to say something from Srimad Bhagavatam. And like I said before, I pray that you all bless me with your mercy so that I can say something for it to be beneficial to all of us, including myself. So the text again reads, all the demigods and their exalted qualities, such as religion, knowledge, and renunciation, become manifest in the body of one who has developed unalloyed devotion for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva. On the other hand, a person devoid of devotional service and engaged in material activities has no good qualities, even if he is adept at the practice of mystic yoga or the honest endeavor of maintaining his family and relatives. He must be driven by his own mental speculations and must engage in the service of the Lord's external energy. How can there be any good qualities in such a man? So, in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is explaining that when one becomes a devotee of the Lord, one's heart becomes purified and he immediately understands his relationship with Krishna. He then revives his original quality of Krishna consciousness. This is very significant because Srila Prabhupada is trying to make us understand that once we begin to surrender, give ourselves in service to the Lord, then gradually, automatically, it revives our original consciousness, which means originally we are already pure in heart. Originally, we have all the qualities of the Lord, and that is being covered. And the perfect example is when we talk about rainwater. When the rainwater is coming from the skies, it's known to be pure water, but immediately it comes in contact with dirt on the ground, then it becomes dirty water, and nobody wants to associate with that type of water. Nobody wants to, even try to use that water. But that doesn't mean that the actual pure water is missing. It's not there anymore. No, it's still there. So immediately you collect that dirty water and you put it in the process of purification. Like you put it in the process of separating the dirt. Then eventually the water comes out again as the pure rainwater, because you have been able to what do we call it? Purify. You have been able to put the water through the process of purification. Hence, the pure water manifests again. At that point in time, it looked as if the water was dirty. It didn't have any good qualities. But at the end of the day, when it goes through the purification process, then again, you see the manifestation of the pure water. So in this particular, in the purport where Srila Prabhupada is explaining that originally we are pure in nature. We have all these qualities of Krishna in some minute quantities, but it can never be manifest. So as long as we remain in material consciousness, as long as we remain in the service of the external energy of the Lord, Maya, then all these good qualities will be covered. So we will not even be able to even realize the purity of these qualities, the presence of this pure quality. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining that immediately that we surrender to Krishna, then our heart becomes purified, and immediately we understand our relationship with Krishna. And then our original quality of Krishna consciousness is revived. And immediately our original Krishna consciousness is revived, we begin to manifest. We begin to manifest the qualities of the soul, of the spirit, which is directly part and parcel of the Lord himself. So it's there. The purity is already there. It's not going anywhere, but it's covered. And that's why Srila Prabhupada explained, Srila Prabhupada emphasized that we have to subject ourselves to the process of purification. And that is how we have to surrender to the Lord. So he has shown us the process of surrender, whereby he says that by giving ourselves, by coming into the association of the devotees of the Lord, then gradually we get purified. Gradually we get purified. And if you go to the previous test in test 11, it was being explained how the association of devotees is so important. By hearing, when we hear from the devotees the glories of the Lord, then just by hearing we get purified by hearing. And so this way, gradually our hearts become very clean. There is power in hearing about the qualities of the Lord. And we can see it in our everyday life. Like if there is a celebrity, someone who is a very good musician, someone who is a very, what do we call it? Powerful or very good football player, soccer player, or whatever it might be. You might not know the person at all. Or some powerful politician, you might not know the person at all. But if someone constantly try to describe this personality to you, and you constantly listen to the description of the qualities of this personality, you would automatically realize that somehow or the other, gradually you begin to develop some sort of attachment for this particular person, even though you might not have seen the person physically. But by constantly listening to the description of the qualities of this particular person, somehow or the other, you gradually begin to develop some sort of attachment for this person. So that is the crucial, what do we call it? Ingredient in listening to the glories of the Lord. And we can see an example in the Mahabharata when Subhadra had heard about Arjuna, and so he constantly was asking when Arjuna disguised himself to go to Dwaraka, and Subhadra was assigned to be the what do we call it? To serve, to be the servant of Arjuna, because Arjuna had gone to Dwaraka disguised as a Brahmin. And so Subhadra kept asking Arjuna that, oh, great Brahmana, as you have been wandering on the earth, have you heard about Arjuna? And the Brahmana said, yes. And so the Brahmana began to describe who Arjuna is, all the qualities of Arjuna. And the more he describes, the more attached Subhadra became to Arjuna. Just by hearing the glories of Arjuna, he became so attached to Arjuna to the extent that she automatically wanted to be with Arjuna. So similarly, when we are given the opportunity to hear about the glories of the Lord from the true source, from the devotee of the Lord, then, because it's very important to hear the glories of the Lord from the devotee of the Lord, because come again, if even we come to our day-to-day life, and someone who is an enemy to a celebrity begin to describe the celebrity to you, I can assure you, the person will give you a description that will make the celebrity become so disgusting to you, because he's an enemy. And that's why it's very important to hear the glories of the Lord from the devotee of the Lord, because the devotee of the Lord will give you the true description of the Lord. And this will incite some faith in you. And by constantly hearing this, and as the faith increases, then the purification also increases. So it's very important. And that's why in the book of Romans, chapter 10, verse 17 in the Bible, it is stated that faith cometh by hearing, and hearing the word of God. By hearing the word of God, your faith increases. You get faith by hearing the word of God. That is what the book of Romans says. So by constantly hearing the message of the personality of Godhead, then constantly it begins to purify us. And so someone will say, or ask, how does it purify us? Now there's a simple analogy about how we get purified. Constantly hearing about it. Simple process. It's like if you have a tank, there is a big tank that can carry like, let's say, 5,000 gallons of water. A very big tank that can carry 5,000 gallons of water. And then Yashadev's Guru Maharaj tells him and the tank is filled with dirty water. You cannot, if even you look into the water, you cannot see anything because it's so dirty. Then Yashadev's Guru Maharaj say, hey, Yashadev, I want you to clean this tank. The tank is so big. How is he going to clean it? If he jump in it, he gets drowned. So what is the best way that Yashadev can clean this 5,000 gallons, what do we call it, tank of dirty water? So you realize that the simplest way that Yashadev can clean the water is by constantly pouring clean water in the dirty water. So if you constantly pour clean water into it, so the clean water will gradually be displacing the dirty water. The clean water will gradually be displacing the dirty water. Gradually, until it comes to a stage where all the dirty water will be displaced. And then you get pure clean water in the tank. So by looking in it, then you can see everything clear in the water. So the same thing. Our heart represents the big tank, our heart and our consciousness. It represents the big tank of dirty ingredients, dirty water. And so, how are we going to carry this water and pour it away? We have no means of carrying the tank of the heart, pour out the dirty stuff out of it. So we have to learn how to fill it with the clean stuff. And by constantly filling it with the clean stuff, then the clean stuff will gradually displace the dirty stuff in it. And that is why hearing about the pastimes of the Lord, hearing about the glories of the Lord, and then chanting the glories of the Lord. This is the process of what? Displacing the dirty stuff in our heart. And by gradually doing this, gradually, there will come a time where all the bad stuff will be clean. And immediately the bad stuffs are clean, then automatically the clean stuff will manifest itself. And the clean stuff is the qualities of the Lord that that is inhibited in us. It will show, to come out automatically. It's not something that is going to come from somewhere to fill you up. No, it's already there, but it has only been covered. It's as if, as you are there, if you are being covered by, let's say, somebody put about 10 thick blankets over you, and the person wants you to walk from here to Spruce Hill, the Spruce Hill Lounge. How are you going to be able to walk like that when you are covered by this? But somehow or the other, if you get the help of someone who gradually takes the blankets one after another from you, then by the time it comes to the last blanket, then somehow that you might be able to see a little bit through it. But eventually, if that last blanket is also taken out, then you can see clearly and you can perfectly walk to Spruce Hill Lounge without any hindrance, without any danger, because you can see clearly. And so these are the qualities we are talking about, the qualities of the Lord. Once all the debt of material consciousness is displaced, then automatically the true qualities of the Lord manifest with us. And then we can see the Lord. Then we can perfectly associate with the Lord. Then we can perfectly have complete faith in the Lord, because that faith is not tainted with any change of material. It will perfectly manifest. And that's why in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, from verse 19 to 26, it describes the fruits of the flesh. And these are the fruits of the flesh: envy, jealousy. So many things he describes the fruits of the flesh. Then after describing the fruit of the flesh, he tells you that as long as you embody these fruits of the flesh, then there cannot be any progress in the community. But you have to develop the fruits of the Spirit. And he explains the fruits of the Spirit: love, the absence of duplicity. He describes exactly like the qualities that is being described here in today's test. Exactly the quality that is being described here. He says, once somebody becomes a Vaishnav, then you can only identify a Vaishnav by the qualities that he manifests. Yeah, because here Prabhupada states directly in the purport. He says, Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj, the author of Chaitanya Charitamrita, says that all good qualities become manifest in the body of a Vaishnava. and that only by the presence of these good qualities can one distinguish a Vaishnava from a non-Vaishnava. So as you progress, I was listening to one tape by Srila Prabhupada, and Srila Prabhupada was saying that nobody will have to come and tell you whether you are a devotee, a pure devotee or not. You must know when you eat and you are full, nobody tells you you are full. You yourself will feel that you are full. And Prabhupada goes on, Prabhupada says that when you become free of jealousy and envy, then you are in the spiritual world. But when you are full of jealousy and envy, then you are in the material world. So it was a short tape, but the way Srila Prabhupada was describing it, it says everything. I mean, the short tape that Srila Prabhupada, I listened. If you listen to that tape, it explains, that short tape explains the entirety of our philosophy. How you can be in this world but not part of this world. Prabhupada said, just get rid of envy and jealousy. Then you are in the spiritual world. Even though while you are physically here, you are no more in the material world. You are completely situated in the spiritual world. But as long as you embody jealousy and envy, then you will constantly reside in them. So developing the qualities of the spirit, of the soul, which is our original nature, should be our focus. And Prabhupada has given us the simplest process by which you can do. Prabhupada says, by having devotee association, quality association, and by chanting the holy names of the Lord. These are powerful. These two things are powerful enough to bring out the true qualities of the spirit. And then we can experience the spiritual world even whilst we are here in the world. So we should all make it a point that at least we should start from somewhere, because it is said that a journey of 1 million miles begins with one step, and that one step should be taken in the right direction. Because if you are trying to embark on 1 million miles and in the north, and you begin to take the first step in the south, then you are going different in the different direction. But you should take the first, begins with one step, and that one step to be in the right direction. And that's why we are so fortunate that Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas have given us. They have given us the opportunity to begin the first step in the right direction. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments?
Haribol, dear Hari Chakra Prabhu, thank you so much. Such a nice class, so enthusiastic as always. And I really appreciate your analogy about how you clean a 5,000-gallon tank. You just got to pour fresh water in again and again and again till it's finally clean. So relevant. Prabhu, I do have a question on the verse. Okay. It just seems a little harsh to say that those who are not devotees, how can they have any good qualities? Kuto mahadguna. Where are any of the good qualities? It just seems very, I don't know, exclusive. Don't you think? I'd love your explanation as to why such a statement is made.
Yeah, that is a very good question you are asking. It seems very harsh, but it's like someone asking that why are you saying that rainwater, when it comes in contact with dirt, it's dirty water. It has no good quality. It's completely dirty. Will anybody argue with you about that? Once the rainwater comes in contact with, then you only see dirty water. Of course, it doesn't mean that the good water is not there. The pure water is not there. It's still there. But now the pure water is being covered by the dirt. So the simplest way to refer to that is dirty water. So similarly, we are pure in nature. We are all devotees of the Lord. But immediately we allow ourselves to be covered by material nature, the external energy of the Lord, Maya. And we are not making any effort to look on the way of the Lord. Then we have no other description. There is no other way to describe us as not having any good qualities. Because that is the nature of the external energy of the Lord. Once it gets us covered, our whole mind and our heart becomes so contaminated that we can never exhibit any good quality. Because we become the center of our own attraction. We put ourselves in the center of everything. And we are always thinking, my. And that is what produces jealousy. That is what produces envy. That is what produces intolerance. So many bad qualities automatically begins to manifest. So, yeah, the statement seems very harsh. But again, it is also explained that the good quality is already there. That's why Prabhupada says everybody, even Krishna himself also emphasized that everybody is my devotee. Everybody, he doesn't discriminate. He doesn't separate. Everybody is. But the percentage of devotion that you have, the percentage of surrender, the percentage of realization that you have about the Lord, that will determine the amount of qualities, good qualities that you'll be able to emanate. Why do you think that we have diverse religious sects? If you go to Christianity, Christianity has so many sects. Baptists, Catholic, Pentecostals, so many sects. You go to Buddhism, the same thing, so many sects. Literally, Shoni Buddhism, Gautama Buddha Buddhism, so many type of Buddhism. And even in our process of Krishna consciousness, the same thing. We see different groupings. Why? Why is it like that? Is God a confused God? No. Because this is what happens. Like if I take the Bible or I take the Bhagavad Gita and I read it, Krishna has said in the Bhagavad Gita that as you surrender unto me, I reward you accordingly. So if you read with 10% amount of surrender, then Krishna will reward you accordingly. So when you are in town and you meet people who are also surrendered to Krishna 10%, when they start interpreting the same Bhagavad Gita to you, because they have 10% realization, immediately you listen to them, oh yeah, you are right. And so that group, you can conveniently move together and call yourself a particular group. Because you are thinking that you understand the Bhagavad Gita perfect. Because the revelation has been revealed to you according to your 10% surrender. Now, those who are 20% surrendered to the Lord, when they read the same Bhagavad Gita, they get 20% understanding. So they also group and they call themselves another group. So it goes on and on and on. So we have different groups based on our levels of surrender. But the amazing thing is, when those who are surrendered 20%, when they hear those who are surrendered 10%, their interpretation of the Gita, they understand them. But they also know that they have not come to the right level. But gradually, when they get help, they will also come to 20%. And that's why the pure devotee of the Lord, he sees all of us and he knows that, oh, we are on the path. And so all they do is they help us so that we can increase our level of surrender. because they know eventually we can also come to 100%, like they are surrounded. So yeah, your question is very relevant. That words seem very harsh, but what to do? Sometimes you call a spade and not an instrument for digging. But if you also read, I think yesterday you were the one who, if you read the qualities, it also says something here. It says the 26 qualities of a Vaishnava, of a Vaishnava. He mentioned one in number 25. Number 25, he says he is expert. He is expert. He is expert in what? He is expert in delivering the message of the Lord. So a true Vaishnava, when he meets someone who is not even interested in God, he doesn't tell the person that, oh, you don't have any good qualities, you are doomed. No. He's so expert that he looks for the tinge of quality, a tinge of quality in that person. And he will try to fan that tinge of quality. He will try to fan it so that the person can be enthused gradually and come up. That is the nature of an expert, of a Vaishnava, quality of a Vaishnava. You are so expert that you look for something in the person to capitalize on it to bring him up. You don't go, a Vaishnava preacher doesn't go out and just start blabbing all these things that when you are a non-devotee and you have no good quality. No, you don't do. You have a way of bringing the people out. And that is how Krishna says that the one who preaches my glories, there can never be anyone very dear to me than that person. So you are so expert that you are trying to bring people in the fold of the Lord. And that's why the Lord says, no person, no other personality can ever be as dear to me and you who preaches my glories to you. Am I making some sense?
So much sense, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
However, in response to your first question, where you're saying, if we have dirty water, who will claim that it's not dirty? Well, the fact of the matter is, these days, people will claim that it's not dirty, even if there are so many faults, there are so many problems. People are suffering so much, and yet it's hard for so many to admit that it's a problem. That maybe their lifestyles, their ways of being, their identities, their imagined identities are actually a problem causing them suffering. It's hard for them to admit that it's dirty. But that's a whole nother subject. It's a whole different topic, of course.
Yeah, it's true.
But thank you so much for your answers.
And that's why we get all these conspiracy theories. You see, when you are covered, when you are so covered by the external energy, you don't even think straight. Your way of thinking becomes distorted. So you don't even see reality. You cannot differentiate reality from illusion. And that's why we are so fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has introduced us to this book, Srimad Bhagavatam. Once we start reading this book, no matter what level we are, at least we begin to understand things in its real perspective. If even you have not come to the level of realization, you have not even become like elevated, at least mentally, because of the little purification that you have mentally, you begin to understand things in its real perspective. But if we allow ourselves to be covered by the external energy, I can assure you, when even I tell you the picture on Yasudev's profile is a cow, Yasudev and a cow, you tell me, no, this is not a cow. This is a deer, or this is a chicken. Some people see things like that. So I perfectly understand that even though the dirty water, some people will still tell you it's not dirty. It's clean.
Yes. It's the madness of Kali Yuga.
Yes, the madness of Kali Yuga. Yep. Yep. We're seeing things differently. And that's very unfortunate when we begin to see things that perspective. But that is how powerful the illusory energy of the Lord is. But once we begin to surrender, and let me give you another example. Sometimes we think we are so knowledgeable, and we tend to forget that the Lord has a way of even teaching us a lesson, of opening our eyes to the truth. And it might come from any angle. There is this story of this lunatic. This lunatic, he was lying beside a ditch, a gutter. And this lawyer, very intellectual lawyer, he just came out of the courtroom, but his car was parked beside the gutter. And when the lawyer came out, he realized that he had a flat tire. So he started trying to change the tire. So he took all the 5 nuts. He took them and put them at the side of the gutter. And he took the tire out and brought out the spare tire, put it in. And just as he was about to take the nut and put it back, somehow or the other, he mistakenly pushed all the nuts into that gutter. And that gutter was a deep one. So this lawyer, what to do? He has lost all 5 nuts. He was standing there like this, and he started locking his car to just leave so that he will come back later to take care of it. Then the lunatic was lying at the side of the gutter all the time looking at the lawyer. And the lunatic started laughing so hard. If it were me, like I would take 1 nut from there, 1 nut from here, 1 nut from here, and put it in. Then he struck the lawyer. But why didn't I even think about that? So instead of leaving, he took 1 nut from the other 3 tires, 1 nut each from the other 3 tires, put the tire in, and put the 3 nuts in there. So this time, all the other tires, the 3 of them have 4 nuts, and this one has 3 nuts. So he was able to drive home. A lunatic and a lawyer. Now the lunatic has shown the lawyer something he should have known. And that's why the devotee, when you read the qualities of Haridas Thakur, it's so sweet. When he was describing the qualities of Haridas Thakur, he said what? He has the quality of what? Let me see, where is it? Okay, here. Sri Padit Haridas is described as being very well behaved, tolerant. He's well behaved, he's tolerant, he's peaceful, he's magnanimous, and grave. In addition, he spoke very sweetly. His endeavors were very pleasing. He was always patient. He respected everyone. He respected everyone. He always worked for everyone's benefit. His mind was free of duplicity, and he was completely devoid of all malicious activities. So somebody who always wants to hear from others, it's not that the person is claiming, oh, I'm the most intelligent person, so everybody should listen to me. But even though he's such an exalted person, but he always wants to hear. So like the description I was talking about, the lawyer and the lunatic. So if the lawyer had thought that I'm a lawyer, I understand, and this is a lunatic, and he did not listen to what the lunatic was saying, he would have left his car there and go home. Meanwhile, it's a simple thing that he could have done. He has to do to be able to get his car back. So as devotees, we are supposed to learn from anybody. And that is why in Canto 11 of Srimad Bhagavatam, what is the name of that person? Was it the Avanti Brahmana? The one who had 26 gurus. He was learning from everybody, everything. He was learning from the bird. He was learning from the snake. He was even learning from the prostitute. Hare Krishna. Any other questions? I think we have 1 minute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Ajami Prabhu.
Yeah, I don't have a question. I just have a statement of appreciation because I have appreciation for you and the devotees and taking those covers off. I like that analogy, because we're covered with so much stuff. And when you are with devotees, you're able to, they help you take those covers off. And I just want to express appreciation for that today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Ajami Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah, that is the power of association with devotees. That is the power of devotee association. No matter how, that's what we must always be our brother's keeper. If we show that level of love, then we will realize we cannot even fathom the help that we can give to each other. Devotee association is so powerful. But sometimes, many a time, we take it for granted. So we don't even get the benefit of it. So all we have to do is open our heart. Practically speaking, we have none of us here. We don't have no qualities. Prabhupada is emphasizing, the scriptures emphasize we should chant. We should chant. How much chanting do we do? And if even we are chanting, how concentrated are we? Haridas Thakur said, what the reason why Haridas Thakur was branded the Nama Acharya, when Lord Chaitanya asked him, tell me about the glories of the holy name. Haridas Thakur said, if you chant the Maha Mantra, one, just one, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. He didn't say one round. He said one. When you chant the Maha Mantra, just one. There is no amount of sins that you can commit that can overshadow the power, the benefit of that mantra. Just one. And for how many years have we been chanting? So we should know that even though we are chanting, but we are not even chanting yet. We have not even come to the level of chanting yet. Because the chanting Haridas Thakur is saying, it means a lot. You see? So we are on the process. Srila Prabhupada and the Acharyas, they are telling us that the fact that we have not come to the level of doing the real chanting doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. But we are in the training grounds. So we have to train ourselves to come to that level. If we want to play soccer, we don't just wake up one day and go to the stadium and say we are going to play soccer. We first must go to the training grounds and learn how we can play as a team. And that's why Srila Prabhupada is teaching us. He has built these temples. Srila Prabhupada has created this ISKCON movement that we should come together to learn how to play as a team. So once we learn how to play as a team, then when we go to the field of material energy, then we can put the passes right. I can pass to Ajamil can pass to Yasodev can pass to this person, and we score our goals. But if we don't cooperate, and you want to be by yourself, I want to be by myself, we are not a team. We will never be able to score any goal. So we will always be losing. So we should be so thankful to our gurus and the paramparam, how they are giving us the training process, the training grounds by which we can train ourselves to come to the level of working as a team. Chetodapanam Majanam, Ketan, Lord Chaitanya was making reference to the chanting of the holy name. This congregational chanting of the holy name is so powerful. So if we do it cooperatively, if we cooperate and do it together, it carries so much power. That is the only time that you forget about anything, any problem that you have, you forget about it. When you are in serious Ketan, you forget about it. Any other thing. One time I saw Taraka Prabhu doing it, doing the whole steps when the Ketan was so sweet and hot. And I was thinking that, oh my goodness, now he has forgotten that he's even sick. The Ketan has taken over his whole everything. That is the power of Ketan. It can put you in a different mood where you forget about all your material miseries. You forget completely about it, and you get into a different mood. But it all comes with cooperation with each other. We need to cooperate with each other to be able to chant together and be able to come to this level. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Shri Radha Damodara ki jai, Lalita Vishaka ki jai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra ki jai, Shri Gonita ki jai. And all glories to assembled devotees. Oh, Gita Nagari Dham ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Chakradas Ki Jai. Thank you for a very nice class, Prabhuji.
Jai.